Hi all, this is Jan of the Jan Files. Please subscribe by hitting up that button at the top. I would really appreciate it. Today is going to be a little different than most of the posts I made because this one is personal and painful, but political. So in, let's see, November of 2004. My husband and I, newly married, brought my mother-in-law up to my family's house in Connecticut for Thanksgiving. It was a wonderful time. But when I was leaving, I happened to notice that my mother had some bruising, really unusual looking bruising on her legs. And so she said that she was going to go to the doctor and, get it checked out. I said, okay. On December 21st of 2004, I got the call that we all dread. My mother had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And I knew that that was likely a death sentence. It wasn't breast cancer. It wasn't, melanoma or a lot of the other cancers that you have a better likelihood of survival. Pancreatic cancer is just, unless you catch it very, very, very early, there is no way to survive it. And so that was December 21st of 2004. On February 1st of 2005, my mother passed away. And I can tell you that the idea that anyone is removing and canceling funding for cancer research is an abomination that I want an answer for. I want to know from all you Republicans out there, you probably won't see this, maybe you will. I hope you all will share this widely because I want an answer. I want to know why you would ever support an administration or the head of the Health and Human Services Division that would cut cancer research. So how much did they cut? Well, overall, HHS cut $3 billion in funding. 31% of that came from cancer research. 4,000 grants were canceled. Some have been restored, but not all. And what has been clear from the medical community is you can't have this little piece over here starting and this little piece over here maybe starting, but there's all this other work that has to happen that you have canceled. And one of the things, very specifically, is the mRNA vaccine. Now, that's a delivery method, right? And so it has been used in the possibility, I may say these words wrong, but I don't really care. You'll get the gist, of vaccines for melanoma and pancreatic cancer. They are working literally on vaccines for those two very deadly cancers. And this MF, Trump, and every single Republican, every single MAGA, and RFK Jr. is responsible for this. Somebody needs to tell me how you justify spending millions and millions and millions of dollars on a gift of an airplane that now has to be refurbished in order for it to meet the standards for carrying a president of the United States. A gift that will eventually end up in Donald Trump's airfield someplace that has nothing to do with benefiting the American public. Millions and millions are being sent to Elon Musk and his companies. There are many corporations that are getting corporate welfare. And as we sit here, some of these, this is not like this waits to next year. This has already happened, folks. Okay? This cut to NHS has already happened. And so the cuts to cancer research and trials and, all the things that come with it have been canceled. So why? What in God's name could be the purpose of doing that? I have the same question for why you would make it harder for Americans to get health insurance. It's not our fault. And it's not that we're mismanaging our money. It is unaffordable, and it's unaffordable because back in the 70s, Republicans voted to turn it from a nonprofit company, a health insurance company, to a for-profit company. So what is it that they care about? What is it that the CEOs of all these companies care about? It's the bottom line. It's their shareholders. It is not Americans. It is not our health. They make it more difficult to stay healthy. And what purpose does that serve? The only thing I can think of is because the wealthy are not impacted, okay? You got millions of dollars. You can pay for whatever you need, whatever health care you need. And even in terms of, research, other countries are doing this, folks, just not us anymore. What is the purpose of this? Tell me. What is the purpose of stopping research for cancer? Because also, you're stopping research on vaccinations. And that's what is all behind it in terms of JFK Jr. He is, I don't know what is wrong with him. It could be the worm in his brain, or it could be all the drugs he did when he was younger. He is not the man he once was. And I don't really care what he once was. All I'm dealing is with what he is now, which is a menace to Americans and our health. So, as a family member of somebody who has died of one of the worst cancers there is, I want an answer. Because I have to go now and get checked out once a year because I may get pancreatic cancer. And yet, the Republicans are going, hey, no big deal. We're going to up the amount of money that corporations get to deduct from their taxes. We're going to make sure they make more money. And we know that somehow some miracle will happen where that money will then, come back to the American public, the middle class, lower class. Absolute bullshit, folks. It hasn't trickled down. It's never worked. It won't work. And these Republicans only seem to care about the wealthy. If you are stupid enough to vote and continue to vote for Republicans, you not only will deserve what you get, I want you to deal with the fact of what you're doing to other Americans. I want you to explain to your family members who may get cancer, like, oh, I don't know, like what? I guess I voted for him because I wanted cheaper groceries. Well, we all know that didn't work out, right? And I really also don't understand how anybody could vote on one issue like that, when all sorts of other things were at stake and we're all seeing it come to fruition. All of us who voted for Kamala Harris knew what was coming down the pike. You didn't. And now some of you are finally getting it. Others of you are like, oh, but it's going to take time. Maybe next year we'll see the benefits of the tariffs and, and I really trust that he really does believe that he wants to do the best thing for Americans. I have nothing to say to you other than you're delusional and that you have no humanity. Because somebody needs to explain to me how this is okay. How do you take the funding away? Not only from this kind of research, it's not just cancer. There are all kinds of other diseases that have been stopped. The research has been stopped, including other kinds of vaccines, because dumbass don't think vaccines work. So I'm going to end this here because it's just going to keep making me more angry and angrier. But I think people really need to tap into this outrage over our health. And the fact is that Donald Trump, the Republicans, do not give a fuck. Please subscribe. Thanks.